Hi everyone, Amy here, and I'm super excited to share this cool Drippy Butterfly card with you today. Now, I created this look with this brand new Drippy Butterfly Stencil from Colorful Life Designs. It's part of the May release, and it is awesome. You can see it has a positive and negative space, and I'm just going to use the outer portion of the stencil to create this card, but I'm going to do it directly on a card base, so it's going to be single layer, and it has this super cool watercolor look. Guys, I just ink blended it. I'm still not entirely sure how that looks like proper watercolor, but somehow it does, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. So I'm going to use this Party Collection Life of the Party ink pads from Catherine Pooler. And if you've worked with them before, you know they're crazy saturated and super pigmented, but even knowing that, I was still surprised at how much this ended up looking like drippy watercolor. So I did notably come in with a very heavy hand. I wanted it to be really saturated looking, so I know that was part of it. But I'm basically just working through a rainbow of these colors with my blending brushes. And I do have the design kind of kicked off to the side of the card base. And I do have that right side masked off because I don't want ink to go there. But it's quite simple. Like I said, I just came in with a heavy hand and with a lot of ink and blended these together and created this gorgeous rainbow. But can't you see this stencil with like a really cool kind of grungy or a mixed media sort of look? I know my friend Al on my design team will do something like that, I'm sure, because she's like a mixed media queen and does a lot of more grungy sort of cards. But I just think this is such a unique and cool design. These little bits on the bottom, be a little bit more delicate with your ink blending. I was coming at it a little too rough. But if you're nervous at all about it shifting, you can absolutely use pixie spray to kind of hold it down in place. But I found that it was easy to do. Just go a little gentle on the bottom with those little delicate bits near the drips. But you can see here this super pigmented, rich design. It came out so gorgeous. Now I'm just going to show you, I have my stamp chamois here. Just removing this post-it tape and just delicately wiping off the stencil. You want to be careful when you're wiping it, again, just because of those little thin, fine lines on the bottom of the stencil, but you can see the ink just wipes right off. That is a water-based dye ink. That's what Catherine Pooler inks are, so they come off really easy. And I have this stamp set from Brutus Monroe. It has some really cool scripty, kind of heartfelt encouragement sentiments. So originally I was thinking never give up on the front of the card, but as you saw, I ended up switching just because I felt the layout of one of the other sentiments worked better. But I did really like that never give up. So you'll see in a moment I will end up stamping that on the inside of the card. So I did go with this Follow Your Dreams. I thought that was really cool, just to kind of go with the idea of, you know, a butterfly and transformation and things like that. And just something about the font itself, I felt it lent itself really well to the design. So I want this to be a stark black ink, so I'm going to use this rich pigment ink. This is VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and I have it loaded up in my Mini Misty in case I need to stamp it more than once, and I'm pressing it down with my Press It tool from Tailored Expressions. But it's a nice crisp detail black ink, you know, once I actually stamp with the pad and not the top of the case. Wow, I'm special. Anyway, I decided to bust out my larger Misty just so I can stamp on the inside easier. You can absolutely do it with the smaller Misty, but I had the big one right next to me, so I just loaded up the Never Give Up on the big Misty and stamped this on the center on the inside of the card. So overall, very simple design, but I did want to add a little bit of blingage. So I have these gorgeous iridescent sequins, and I'm going to use some liquid glue and my jewel picker just to kind of put those down in odd numbers. So I have 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and that just adds a little bit of something extra to the card. Otherwise it is, you know, flat, single layer, and not a whole lot to the design, but I didn't want to take away from those gorgeous colors from the inks and that unique design from the Drippy Butterfly. So once I'm done struggling with this blingage and finding the size that I want, I have 3 different sizes and I'm looking for the medium size one. Here we go. And get those pushed down, and that's going to finish my card. So do you agree that this looks watercolored? I'm still kind of amazed. I don't fully understand, but I'll take it because I think drippy watercolor looks like exactly what it should be. So maybe I'll have to try it with watercolor and some pixie spray. So let me know in the comments if you think it looks like watercolor, and I look forward to hearing from you, and have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Bye.